Media Consumption and Information Preferences in Armenia 2019. The results of a public opinion poll conducted by Region Research Center in the towns and villages of Armenia from January 10 to February 10, 2019, revealed the specificities of media consumption and information preferences among the Armenian public in the context of electoral processes too. The survey enabled the recording of new developments in terms of media consumption in Armenia. The novelty is that 58.9% of the population in Armenia mentioned the internet as a primary source of learning news on current developments. 35.7% preferred TV, while the number of radio and print media users was considerably lower. Social networks ranked first by their rates of daily views of 72.6%, followed by TV at 62.5%. As a matter of fact, 25% of viewers watched Russian TV channels on a daily basis, whereas online media outlets came third at 53%. People's preferences depend on their age, income, education level, and place of residence, either urban or rural. Thus, the older the respondent, the more frequently they prefer to watch TV to learn the news. Those with little income who can earn enough to buy food also watch more TV as compared to their use of the internet. However, those with larger income who can also buy a car and have summer vacations prefer the internet for learning news. The level of education too influenced news preferences. Internet users prevailed among those with higher education. There were no significant differences revealed in terms of internet use preferences as related to the gender of the respondents, male or female, as well as in relation to their places of residence, a town or a village. Yet, preference for TV was twice as high among the residents of rural settlements. According to the results of the public opinion poll, the majority of the population in Armenia uses social networks. The majority are citizens under 50, by the way, and the number of respondents aged 18 to 29 and 30 to 49 is almost equal. While the circumstance of residence in Yerevan or in a Mars, a town or a village, does not affect the frequency of using social networks, users' level of education and income do reflect some patterns. Social network users prevail among those with higher education, whereas those who have a comparatively large income are fewer among social network users as compared to respondents with smaller income. The survey also identified the social networks popular among the Armenian population. Respondents believe that Facebook helps to achieve positive outcomes, especially in tense situations in the domestic policy, in human rights protection, the fight against corruption, and electoral processes. It is noteworthy that the recently very popular Facebook Live broadcasts by state figures and politicians were considered definitely useful by 53.7% of the respondents. The remaining part of the respondents said that these live broadcasts were not quite useful or were not useful at all. 6% of those who follow electoral processes considered them funny, 7% thought it was a waste of time, and 8% believed electoral campaigns did not affect the elections. But in general, the majority considered that the campaigns served as guides, were interesting and informative. The number of people who followed the campaigns of political forces and candidates was the largest for Facebook and exceeded the number of those who followed on TV. This is a new trend for Armenia too. Online media outlets came third, whereas only 1/3 of the respondents attended face-to-face meetings with political forces. By the way, during the course of electoral campaigns, people are more interested in debates and interviews. Facebook Live broadcasts are less interesting. Commercials and promotion videos and posters are less significant for voters. It is noteworthy that for the majority of Armenians, the gender of the candidate is not of importance. Yet, 12.7% responded that politics was not a woman's business, and almost half of those who responded in this manner were women. You can find the results of the public opinion poll conducted by Region Research Center at www.regioncenter.info.